Hello y'all, welcome back to Daily Music Theory. This is Shane Messer, and today we're going to be talking about the musical element of rhythm. So basically, rhythm is just music's pattern in time, and it's based off of the beat or the pulse of music, which is the basic unit of time, and it's often broken up into measures, which are basically sets of beats. It's sets of time in music, and you'll see more of what I mean here in a second when we get into drawing that out. So basically, um, by the way, as a guide here, I'm using a really good website called Puget Sound Music Theory. It's really, really good. It's an awesome database for music theory, and it starts very basic and gets pretty advanced. It's a really good site. But anyhow, basically in music, you'll often see something called a time signature at the beginning of a piece. And time signature usually has it always has two numbers. And you'll see it written something like this. I'm going to make sure I keep clicking on this too because I'm making sure you can see it. So you have a 4/4, right? And you'll see this at the beginning of most music pieces. And basically this top number here tells you how many beats are in a measure that are in a division of the music in each bar, if you will. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. And then this bottom number tells you which note gets what beat, basically. So the notes in music, always they have a stem and they have a note head. So most commonly you'll see notes drawn something like this right here. This is a quarter note, and this time signature 4/4, it gets one beat, and it takes 4 to fill up a measure. Because this bottom number here, it's always based off of this time signature 4/4, and in 4/4 time it takes 4 of these to fill up a measure. So when you see this 4, you know it's referring to the quarter note, which gets one beat. Now if this is a beat right here, pretend this little circle right here is a beat, we can subdivide this, right? So if I wanted this, if I had 4 of these beats right here, and I wanted to break them up in half, right, I could go right like that. So those are called eighth notes. It takes 8, as you can probably guess, to fill up a measure. So basically this is what 2 eighth notes look like. 1 eighth note would actually be written like this. It looks like a quarter note, but it has a little flag at the end of it, and this flag basically indicates that it's half of its normal value. So it takes 8 to fill up this same. And once again, going back to the concept of a measure, I'll draw that out for you so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, hopefully more clear. It's just a, let me erase this little beat right here we drew. That's not an actual symbol, by the way. I was just using the circle as a demonstration. But this is a measure. It's a grouping, right? So it takes 4 quarter notes to fill up the measure, but it takes 8 eighth notes to fill up the measure. And we can also do, we can split my eraser, so I apologize. We can also take the measure up in two notes, that is. These are called half notes. It basically looks like a quarter note, but it's hollow. So, once again with quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to count the eighth notes with and. So, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're just subdividing this is all that we're doing. And then this, the 2 half notes that fill up the measure, it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're silent on 2 and 4. Actually, the notes being held out is the reason I kind of whisper those. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. If we're holding these 2 notes out, basically. And we can also take up the whole measure with 1 note. And this is why I said be careful with that beat I drew a second ago. It's not an actual note, but this is an actual note. This is the whole note, and it takes up 4 beats. So if I sing this real quick, da 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 da. You get the idea. I'm not the best singer, but so that's basically how it's broken up time-wise, right? Let me kind of erase this, and we'll go back to the time signature that we drew 4/4, and we'll kind of play around with it a little bit. Actually, let's just change this number right here on top that tells you how many beats are in a measure or in a division, and we're going to change it to 3. So now it takes 3 beats to fill up a measure, so we're going to erase this. Now, as you can see, we're already running the problems with the note system, right? Because we have, this works 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If we keep repeating this out, if we have more measures, right? Let's make 2 measures, actually, for right now. Sorry. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Eighth notes. Let's write that out. It'd just be, as you can probably guess, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Just drawing that out real fast. One and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now, as you notice with this half note, it doesn't really fit because we have 1, 2. We could fill in a quarter note right here, right? But if we want to take up the whole measure with 1 note, how do we do that? Because this half note only lasts 2 beats, it's only lasts 1 beat, and they're 2 different notes. Well, just like the flag makes the note half value, we can add a dot to add half value. So half of 2 is 1, so we're just adding 1 to 2. So now this note right here is 3 beats because we added this little dot. So da 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 da. It's 3 beats now, right? So we don't really use a whole note here because that wouldn't really work. So this is the largest note you'd see in a 3/4 time, basically. If we want to sustain this note past the given measure, so we don't re-articulate it, by re-articulating it, I mean attacking the note again. So instead of going da da, if I want to hold this out for 6 beats across the measure, we can use what's called a tie, which is basically just a little curvy line. Goes across right here. Da. And let me see that dot right there. If I was changing pitches, this wouldn't be called a tie, it would be called a slur. So if I was going da, it would be a slur, not a tie. But in this case, since I was holding the same note, and since we're only talking about rhythm and not pitch, it's a tie. Now, if I change this bottom number, I'm going to go to, let's go to 6/8 time. That's 4/4, 3/4, and 6/8 are probably the most common time signatures we're going to encounter. So we're just going to talk about those right now. So now we're going to go to 6/8 basically. So now with 6/8, and I haven't erased this yet, but with 6/8 time, we're going to have 6 beats in a measure, and we're going to have the 8th note, as this 8 indicates. It indicates the 8th note because it takes 8 beats to fill up a measure in 4/4 time, right? So the 8th note is going to get 1 beat. So it's basically going to take 6 8th notes to fill up a measure, basically. We think of it like that. And the 8th note is basically being treated like a quarter note in the sense that it gets 1 beat now. So let me erase this super fast. And we'll explore 6/8 time a little bit. And I hope I'm not going too fast. If I am, just leave something in the comments saying you need like a review on rhythm or something. We'll go back. If there's something specifically you're confused on, just let me know. I'd love to help you out and explain further. I'm trying to keep these videos concise because I'm already running 9 minutes, of course. But so going back to 6/8 time, right? It's going to take, the 8th note now gets 1 beat, and it's going to take 6 to fill up a measure. And you might see them written like this. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this gets a little bit into meter. The way I just articulate that, I'm filling it in 2. I'm emphasizing we have strong and weak beats in music, and in this case, I was making the beat on 1 and 3. 1 and 4 strong, pardon me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I could also go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that gets into meter. So meter is basically how you divide the strong and weak beats up of a measure and of a time signature. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can basically fill it in 2, or I can fill it in 3. So if we wanted to make a whole note, not a whole note, but if we wanted to make a note that will last the full measure, we could do a dotted half note, because this normally gets 3 beats, right? Well, in this case, it's basically double, so it's going to get 6 in this time signature. Because if an eighth note gets 1 beat, and it's normally half value, then this note, which gets 3 beats, is going to get 6 beats. There's more we could talk about, but I just wanted to keep this kind of short and concise. I really hope it was helpful. If you found anything confusing, like I said, just give me a shout out, leave a comment. But I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm mainly doing this once again for my Rogers Sir Community Service Project, to my community, my school, Palmerville Independent Schools. But of course, if you're watching the video on YouTube and if you want clarification on something, just let me know in the comments. And I also encourage you to check out Puget Sound once again. They have really good information. For a little more advanced music theory, if you're beyond the basics, I recommend Treb Tones. They're really good. And once again, Puget Sound. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video on rhythm, and I hope you have a great day. Peace out.